favorite toy truck nerds are back. Welcome to That Scale RC Show.
How you guys doing?
Oh, pretty good. And yourself?
Doing good.
Doing good. Doing good. To our second episode of 2023.
Yeah, well, 2023 is throwing so many, weird curveballs. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Yesterday marked the third or fourth time this year since January that we've lost power. And I don't even think we lost power at all the previous year.
I was going to ask how long has it been since you've had, how long did it take to get 3 or 4 before that? Probably a long time.
It's been a long time. I mean, I honestly can't even remember the last time we've actually had storms this bad. I mean, it's been pretty crazy. We got down trees, down power lines. You drive down certain people's blocks and it's just like fences are blown over and yeah. So it's been pretty crazy. But
stupid.
Yeah, that's why we had to postpone last week's recording because I had no power.
It's so weird because it's just like beautiful and sunny up here. Like just completely traded places.
Well, what's funny is so we finally thought we were getting through a lot of it and it started actually warming up. Like we were getting it was, I don't know, high of 65 degrees at night. It would only drop to 55. So it was okay, it's warming up, only need a sweatshirt for an hour or two in the morning. Then all of a sudden one night it was flip the switch and all of a sudden it was 38 degrees and we're oh God, it's back.
God.
Yep. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I just was scrolling through Facebook and somebody had a funny meme. They said it's like spring and winter are having a custody battle over us right now.
Nice.
That's true. I think when I went out crawling last week, it was 66 up here. It was awesome.
Yeah, I can't believe it's almost April.
I know it.
It'll
be summer before we know it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then the year will be over before we know it.
Yep.
I hope not. I want to actually do some fun stuff this year. I've said that for the last 2 years, and it just seems like getting out and doing stuff has taken a backseat to everything else. But I think might be able to actually pull it off this year.
Define fun stuff.
Just want to go drive and go camp or go to a couple shows this year. I don't know. I'm maybe only want to go to shows in the winter time. Probably get nasty hot in there. When we went and saw Black Dahlia, it got super, super hot.
Yeah.
That wasn't too fun.
Trying to think if I've been to any during the summer. None that come off the top of my head. But yeah, that's a fair point. And we don't get a lot of summer shows here anyways. But
yeah.
No, I've been thinking about a similar thing a lot too, because and I've talked about this in the past, but I really would like to put together a trip at some point that is kind of spans southern Utah and southwest Colorado and stuff, and just in that little bit of Arizona, New Mexico, because there's just some amazing terrain out there. And
that'd be fun.
That would be just a super fun kind of discovery trip.
Yeah.
There's a lot of neat stuff down there.
Oh yeah.
All really close to each other. That would be fun. I keep thinking about maybe I want to actually start planning something like that soon.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That or we got to get Adam up here or something.
Well, it's pretty funny. So Michelle's cousin is like a huge Morgan Wallen fan. And I mean, I admit, I like his music. I was waiting for that last album he released. And I guess he's got a concert. And the only concert in California this year, I think, is down in SoCal. I think he's doing one in San Diego, and I could be wrong. And then one in LA or Inglewood at the SoFi Stadium. And she's like, I need somebody to go with me. And Michelle's like, oh, Adam will go with you. I said, that's a mission just to go down to her concert. And she's like, I'll cover the tickets if you'll go. And I was like, I was like, maybe I will. And then she said, okay, it's like July 21st. And I'm like, that's Axio Fest. You're high. I ain't going. So yeah, it was pretty funny. She got her hopes up.
Oh man.
And she goes, haven't you been to Axio Fest like 10 years in a row? And I said, maybe. Does that change the fact? No.
Nothing wrong with that. It's a tradition for a lot of people.
So but I did tell her, I said, honestly, I'd be more apted to go if it was a more local venue like Sacramento or in my area like San Jose or something, like not all the way down in Inglewood.
Yeah, I feel that. That's gnarly.
I feel like not many people want to go to Inglewood like by choice.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny that they put the the stadium there. It's like, why didn't you guys just actually put it in LA?
Yeah, because isn't it like just like right next to like across the street is just suburbs. It's just neighborhoods start and that's it.
Yeah.
I know some people. I kind of remember something about that. People were pretty unhappy with the placement of that. But yeah, regardless. Yeah. Anything else new?
Well, new as in RC releases.
In general, whatever. I mean, we can start jumping into releases because I know there's been a couple since.
Well,
you guys.
Well, I know there was one release that came out this week, and it's I guess I'll say interesting in my in my book, but Rock Pirates RC has released the Kraken Pro chassis, which I believe is for the Axial SCX10 Pro, and I'm just a little confused because it kind of doesn't seem like there's much difference between that and what you get with the SCX10 Pro. And this is like no bashing or hating on Rock Pirates because I run their shock towers on two of my other rigs. And I think they're giving a very good option for most, platforms to be allow you to tune your shocks, slam the body a little bit lower, slam the rig a little bit lower to the ground. But it's trying to replace a chassis that already has, all of that considered when they came out with it. Now I get it. There are, a ton of more tuning options, I guess, for the shocks if, you think it needs that. But from everything I've seen, the SCX10 Pro works really well right out of the box. So, or right out of the kit once you put it all together. But
next time you want to stir the pot, all you need to do is say with all due respect and then just say whatever you want afterwards.
Oh, with all due respect?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, with
and
all due
you
respect,
can just say whatever you want.
With all due respect, I'm confused.
No offense.
No offense, but
No offense. But
you look like shit. No offense. Oh yeah, no, it's cool. I understand.
I said no offense, bro. So I don't know why you're mad.
No,
Yeah.
it wasn't meant to be offensive.
No, the thing that
It was from Talladega Nights, Adam.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
but the thing was that I found interesting about this, like reading through the special features. This one got me, which was optimized full suspension compression front and rear when tuned correctly. Do you not get full suspension compression on the Pro out of the box?
Oh, now Travis is talking shit.
I just have a tough time believing.
We can call this episode the redacted episode.
No,
The redacted.
the redacted. No, I mean, you know,
With all due respect.
well, I
With
mean,
all due respect, you're wrong.
if people come out of the woodwork to say something about this, that's fine, because I guess that means there's a different perspective. But I find that a bit like, you know, you had a word count on your essay. It's kind of what
I can see that.
you know, like
You stopped it at the.
there's a minimum, yeah. I remember there were
finish your sentence.
there were a couple of papers in like 6th grade, you know, those like 1-pagers you have to write and stuff like that, and I was like, you know, I would get to like those last 4 lines, and I would just, you know, I would set the thing up so that way I could just repeat a word a lot, like very. You know, I'm just trying
Add
to
a
get to the
couple
end.
commas.
Yeah. Hey, they'll accept it once. But no, I that was really the only thing I had to say about it, because it was just like, I mean, it for the truck that's supposed to be the ultimate performance appeal kit that you can just buy in all one go. And from what I can tell, the geometry is not all that different in terms of, you know, what a default location would be like. It just makes me wonder then what would have been stopping the full compression.
Yeah, I don't know. But the
when
thing
tuned
that I
correctly too, like, I mean, that could apply to anything.
Yeah, well, because I think they're trying to be careful. It's like in this day and age, any company now has to always cover their ass, because, you know, they say one thing and then and the consumer can't get it to do that. They like immediately go straight to Facebook and put you on blast and say, oh, you know, it said that, you know, I could get full compression, but I couldn't get it to do it. So now this must be a crappy product, and I'm just going to complain about it. And then you'll have a million people in the comments saying, well, that's because, did you do this right? Did you do this? Did you do this?
Yeah.
And so I think that's one of those, oh, we just got to cover our ass. But I mean, the other, to me, I think more of the key features with this chassis is the fact that they tweaked the rear to allow you to put their hardline bed, and then they added a couple different holes on the side so their rock sliders can go on. So like, if you, because they base a lot of their products around the Dodge, drawing a blank now, the Power Wagon cab.
Right.
So they do a lot of their stuffs around the Power Wagon. So their sliders, that hardline bed, all of that is for that. So I think this is a way for you to make it more easily, you know, done if you wanted to put those products on your SCX10 Pro.
Yeah.
Kind of what
if you tend to be an ecosystem buyer, yeah, that makes sense.
So, like I said, no hate whatsoever. It's only $70. It is, you know, and it's aluminum. So, yeah. The thing that I want to look up though is they put how much it weighs, and it says 4.1 ounces. I need to look up the Axial Pro, because I'm kind of intrigued, and I want to see what their chassis is, if they even
4.1 ounces per rail.
I thought, I don't know, I was hoping that was the whole thing. It says
yeah.
available high quality aluminum, 4.1 ounces, and hard to anodize with brilliant durable finish. And then what is Axial?
Brilliant finish.
And not as durable.
That's kind of a cool hard anodize. Looks like it's just hard anodized clear. Oh yeah, their black hard anodized looks very similar to what we have right now.
So it says that the Hulk, is this right? According to Horizon, they're saying that the thing is 3. Is this right? It says that it's 3 pounds.
As a roller, maybe.
Out of the box, like once you assemble it without the wheels, tires, all the extra stuff, it said 3 pounds. It was, well, because I just Googled.
Not bad.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Oh, right here, down here, it says product weight 3 pounds without components. So, yeah, so, but see, that also makes me wonder. I forget what their chassis is made out of. I forget if they used aluminum or if it's plastic.
Rock Pirates?
No, Axial.
It's aluminum. The chassis?
Aluminum plate. Yeah, it's aluminum. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, they're both aluminum. So, I think the added, shock hole area, I believe that, I think adding like that probably adds more weight. So it might be slightly counterintuitive, but yeah. So if you still want to get it, it's out, and yeah.
If you still want to get it after everything that Adam and Travis said that
I like how
no part of at all.
I like how Jay has to be like
quietly.
I'm just driving the bus. The fact that I'm going to back it up and go forward about 5 times over Adam and Travis,
Because I'm always the one who gets in trouble.
Why do you get in trouble?
For me? Because I talk.
Select clip, delete. Yeah.
As long as I'm talking.
But yeah, no, I wasn't saying anything like, I was trying not to say anything inflammatory because it's like there's nothing wrong with it. It was just, I was just curious about that little detail, that and like the body post mount location. I think it's okay to like sometimes just say like things for what they are, but at the same time, there's a psychology element, I guess. So I suppose I can't criticize that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, also kudos for getting it out there pretty quickly. I mean,
that is quick turnaround. Yeah.
Because that rig came out of what I think the people were just starting to get theirs about a month ago, if that.
Yeah.
Maybe like 2 weeks ago. So, which I'm still waiting for mine. I think mine was estimated to be shipped and or arrived, I forget which one, on April 18th. So I'm also curious to see, because I also ordered that crawler body that they that Axial released for it. So I'm hoping that gets released rather quickly.
I was just getting ready to ask you what body was going on that.
I'm gonna be a purist, and I'm gonna go with that.
I would. If I was building one, that's the one I would choose.
I mean, it's sick, and I've already talked.
Yeah, no, it's cool looking.
I already talked to Spencer. I said it might be going your way for a paint job. I haven't made up my mind yet.
The ones that they did up for the promo shots, it looks so good. I would absolutely have somebody paint one of those.
Yeah. So I'm just hoping that I get it with time to still put it together with how slow I am at completing projects, so to be ready for Axial Fest.
I wonder what they're going to do I wonder if Axial just isn't going to make Rock Racer type rigs anymore. But they keep using that tag. That throws me so much when they use that hashtag.
It throws a lot of people, because we thought the release before this was going to be a Rock Racer.
Yeah, I don't know, because they just, every time that Losi comes out with something, it would have been an Axial car in the past, and so now it's like Losi is picking up all the racy type stuff, and I don't know if they're gonna just leave Axial as trail type stuff, and I don't know. I'd be interested to know what their plan is.
I guess that would make sense.
Yeah, I have no idea.
So they're trying to push the TLR or the Losi brand.
I think they're just really trying to press brand differentiation.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're going to come out with a TLR tuned SCX Pro, like they did with the LMT.
That would be pretty badass.
Because the
honestly.
LMT is the carbon one. Yeah, like have the TLR tuned one and have whatever, different anodized shock bodies, like
It's like 100%
tie nitrate shafts.
It's
carbon
100% the
rails.
thing that I was complaining about the last episode, but
Mhm.
that would be done right and at least kind of cool.
Yeah, if they did a TLR tuned version, it would absolutely have carbon rails too. But yeah, do tie nitrate shock shafts and stuff, and maybe do some kind of exotic coating on the links or something. I mean, there's a lot of directions they could go with that.
Yeah,
That'd be pretty neat.
I don't know.
Personally, I wish you could get tie nitrate shock shafts for everything. I think those look so awesome.
Oh, definitely. They're kind of a nightmare to maintain, but for crawling, it really wouldn't be that bad.
Yeah, no.
The
Someone told me some Traxxas ones fit the
Really?
Enduro shocks, supposedly. Yeah, like the piston fits and everything. Or, I mean, you can put the element piston on the Traxxas shaft. I think it was Topher Builds told me that, I think.
Fascinating. Okay. It does kind of beg the question, though, and all that then, too. Like, well, factory team Enduro. Where you at?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's see.
Now I want to know the weights of some things. 3 pounds without running gear and stuff.
Why? What are you contemplating?
I was just thinking.
Yeah, it's weird because it's like it seems so much lighter than it should be. But I guess like the relative weight of like every little thing you have to add on after that is so much more. It took me a minute when I was kind of trying to do that math in my head.
Makes me want to strip mine down and weigh it.
Yeah, are you gonna get the scales too for each corner?
I'm going to at some point. The cheapest I found him is $100.
Ugh.
But I do think that's something we should have.
I do agree. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
It'd be very nice to know. Let's see. But yeah, what else is new? Anything else notable release-wise?
It's the Ecto Blackout Edition.
Yep.
Like the Blackout.
The scratch and weather paint. It's a big selling point.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, it does. It's really
It's
good.
really well done.
Every time you say scratch and weathered, I keep thinking you're going to say scratch and sniff.
Scratch and All right.
Actually, now that I think about that, that kind of be funny. Could you imagine if they actually used like scratch and sniff paint and like, you guys just rubbing against the rocks? It's like, oh, the cherry on this side.
Could have swore I fucking answered this guy.
And then shameless
Sorry.
plug. Our servo and axle mount will be shipping this week. It appears.
Nice.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I'm very. At the time we're recording this, I have not received them back from coding, so I am waiting in great anticipation for that box to show up because I am so like nervous, but I'm really excited to see it.
Our first foray into Cerakoted parts.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see if we do more after this.
At least it's in a spot where its durability isn't so much of an issue.
Yeah, that for sure. That was like my one like hang up point was the durability. But
Yeah.
it's also one of those things where I could spend a month and a half tracking down, some of the better Cerakote vendors I can find. And it just, I feel like I wouldn't end up in any better place than I was.
Yeah, no, Dunham is probably the place to go no matter what, I would think.
Maybe. I mean, we'll see. Like, I think their anodizing game tends to be much stronger, but like, regardless, it's like, so far I feel good about it. I'll take the chance.
Yeah.
But yeah, so no, definitely excited about that. 'Cause that has been its first brass part. So as much as we all said about that for a long time. Not that it was a total 180, because like, we always did talk about applicable brass, but
Yeah.
Well, it is
I won't
funny that
backpedal too much.
Well, it is still kind of funny that you bring up the brass right now, because I saw a post, like, I want to say it was like last week, and I can't remember if it was an SCX 10 or if it was the 24, and they were like running their rig, and I guess it rolled 4 times, and the caption was, apparently you can have too much brass, because I mean the thing was just mangled from all the weight being thrown around.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Fortunately, our piece will not be causing you any problems.
Which actually was a whole nother sidebar that I talked with Spencer about. I'm still contemplating building up a performance, with air quote, SCX 24. I have one laying around. I just don't know if I want to put that kind of money into it.
He asked a question about that, actually. Yeah, I guess I can just read it now since we're talking about it. But he said, yeah, question for all three of you at Sack the Ripper. Have you been able to get into the 24th scale stuff? It took me a long time to get into it, but I'm actually starting to enjoy mine now that it crawls worth a damn. I do wish there were more like sand body options for it. Not interested in putting a heavy static model body on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. From the outset, I thought the 24th scale stuff was really fun. Like, I never, I guess, really thought too much about, like, approach-wise. Like what's the way I would put it? Because it's just, like, the one you're not going to take as seriously, right? It's like the pit bike. But, So but it was, like, still, like, for me, it was, like, really kind of fun out of the get-go. Obviously, Dad and I just, the way we think about stuff, we immediately started to change some things. But I never thought about it too much with like parts aftermarket or anything. I see that there's a really big market for it, and I've thought about that a couple times, but I hadn't really seen anybody doing it firsthand.
Yeah. It's I don't know. I think it's cool. I had fun that day that we were messing around with it, but it's just there's so many other things that take priority right now that I really haven't played around much.
Yeah, it's weird to think about like that when we're with like so much 10 scale stuff.
Yeah,
exactly. And that's kind of like has always been my take on it. Is it's like you said, it's like the pit bike. It's like, yeah, you can dump a bunch of money into it and it's gonna look cool, but it's like, are you really gonna actually like use it?
Yeah.
Sure.
So
yeah, because it's like we'll bring it along just for fun. Maybe we'll run it for like a minute at the end.
Yeah, and that's what's kind of hard. So, I mean, I've thought about it. I even started looking at some of like the aftermarket, hop up parts, just trying to see like what's out there and if there's something that's actually worth putting on the rig. So when I talked to Spencer, aka Sack the Ripper, because I don't know if we made that clear, he was like, yeah, the chassis I got was from a buddy, so it's like a prototype, so that's all I know about it. I don't know who the buddy is, when it's coming out, what it is, what company it is, but he said there are quite a bit of aftermarket chassis out there. So I hopped on the SCX24 page, and I was actually blown away with how many different chassis there are, and then I was double blown away when I saw the one chassis was $100. I was like, you
what?
could buy.
Is that the Fury Tech one?
I think so. Let me look real quick. But yeah, like I was like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, really? Like, that's a lot for, you know,
Yeah.
a chassis that you're not even, you know, like, well, I'm not saying you're not gonna ever do anything with, but like, I don't see there being like,
It's hard to feel the value of scaling too.
well, yeah, but like I've never like, okay, when we go to these local comps that we have, they're all 10th scale. I've never seen somebody put on a 24th scale comp.
They do it. I just don't. I can't remember who. I don't know. You know, it would be fun until it gets RC'd. You know, like I need to think of a term for explaining this. It's the same thing that happens where like something starts out being fun just for what it is, and then RC just deletes it down into this performance thing, and it becomes way over the top, like drag racing, like regular RC cars did. I mean, just like everything does, really, you know.
I think that it's just, if you like, my thought would be just like, if you're chasing down the like perfectionist path of the 24th scale, then like the farther you get down that path, it's not like differentiating anymore, because it's like, well, I could just do this with the 10th scale like I already was. Like,
Yeah.
because there's like a certain like novelty's not the right word, I think, but something about like it being like a little bit different and sort of surprising for how small it is, and it's like, oh, I wonder if I can do this.
Well, it's shockingly difficult to find good places to drive them too. Like you and I really only found that one suitable spot when we went camping, because everything else is just way too big, it seemed. And then I took my Enduro 24 to Cap Sandy one day, and it was, I don't know, it wasn't really any fun because just everything was too hard for it, you know. And that's all 1/10 scale size stuff there. So I mean, I don't know. I feel like maybe if I had somewhere to drive a 24th scale more, I would do it. And I don't know.
I think it'd be different if it was like more Southwest.
We're just so committed to so many other things, you know.
Oh, sure.
And sometimes it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, that'd be cool if we did it, but you know, if we offered something for it, but everybody else does, and unless it's something that we're trying to develop, it's hard to justify the time or money spent going into it, you know, if we're not going to do anything with it in the end.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so it's Maz Designs or something like that. They have or Maz or something like that. They have their chassis. I checked them out because they seem to pop up, because somebody said who makes the best LGC chassis for the SCX 24, and somebody said Maz Designs. I have the titanium one, is beyond awesome. Could only imagine how good the carbon one is. And I went on this website, and it's like $100 for the chassis, and I'm like, for something that's, I don't know, that's just cut out of, I mean, obviously it's carbon, but still, I'm just like, this is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But then somebody said that somebody else said, believe it or not, Endura has a carbon fiber chassis. It's only $20 on Amazon
For the 24.
Yep.
I think their 10th scale one's only like $25 or something, or 50. I forget now.
Yeah, actually, it might have been cheaper. It might have been like $16.99. But I mean, like, it's still, I'm just saying, like, see, there's other options out there. And I was actually going back and forth with Spencer about that. And I was like, man, I'm like blown away. I said, I found one chassis for like $100, but I said, you can get the Enduro one for like $16.99. And he said, honestly, for the 24th scale, why not just get it? It's $12.
Yeah.
So, and then, but yeah, so, and I do agree. It'd be nice to see some more, you know, bodies come out that like you could use that were Lexan. There's really not, I mean, that many.
Yeah.
But, and then of course you go down the rabbit hole after you do that. Like then there's the people that apply the 10th scale knowledge to the 24th scale. They're like, oh, we got to have an angled skid. Then you got to have the bent links, and then you got to have brass here and this, that, and the other. So
then you are like into what you are money wise for
already.
a 10th scale.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't know.
Which has always been my kind of like my whole, that's kind of like why I've always been standoffish, is because it's like, at what point do you stop? Because you're going to be spending, you know, upwards of like $300-400 on a car that you might not take out that often.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
It'd be like pimping out the Yeti Junior, kind of. It's kind of the same type of thing.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
But yeah, I don't know. Maybe one day when I have a little, you know, I'll put some maybe money aside and I'll say, yeah, I'll play around with one of the 24th scales, but we'll see.
I did get some ecto bodies for ours to make some stuff for. I mean, I'm going to offer some little 24 scale things. I think we have some now, but not lots. So I don't know. Maybe we'll get into it. Maybe we won't. Hard to say.
Let's see. Anything else, or should I start jumping into the remaining questions?
And probably do questions.
Okay.
Yeah, type questions.
All right. So first one, Adam, what all is left to do to finish the K10 build from Spencer Scythe the Ripper?
Oh, so it's actually funny that he asked that question, because I was all stoked. I ordered up some magnetic body mounts and I was beyond disappointed with the quality. I mean, what do you expect for like $6 from Amazon?
Sure.
But they just slopped around way too much there. That they're the style that you set over the stock body posts and then you use the grip that goes through. It just moved around way too much. The only way to get them to not move around was if I dropped them to where they were sitting on the actual, like, you know, the flat surface of the body post. But then I would add a re-drill hole. So then I went back to like my tried and true method. So what I did was, well, actually, it's the first time I've done it with magnets. I had magnets with like the countersink holes in them. So I screwed those to stock body posts and I got them all in place. Now, the next thing I just need to do is I either need to decide if I want to put something that captures those so that way the body can't move side to side or front to back. Or do I just put some metal, you know, just shoe glue some on the inside so it can sit there, and then use like maybe make a slightly raised up rock slider that kind of contains the body so it can't move side to side. That part I haven't 100% made up my mind yet, but that's really all I have left to do. The reason why I haven't had a ton of motivation, I mean, the one day when I had all the motivation in the world, no power. So we left work early. We went home at about 1 o'clock. I'm like, I got the whole afternoon, but I have no power. I can't weld. I can't freaking do nothing. So I was like, all right, well, guess we're just gonna have to wait again. So that's all that's left. I know Spencer's like dying to see that thing out on the rocks, and he'll see it out on the rocks. It's going to be at Axial Fest. So it will be used. It's going to be like my go-to trail truck. But yeah.
Killer. All right. Another one from him. He says, Jay, tell me your favorite and least favorite thing about your Apex 2 rally car.
Well, my least favorite thing ended up getting taken care of, so that was not a big deal. My least favorite thing is getting rocks and crap stuck in the chassis. So I found out that Tamiya has a similar kind of profile. And so I got on Amazon and found a Velcro on fabric chassis cover and good to go now. So I don't know. There's not really any, it's going to sound stupid because it sounds like I'm like brown nosing, but like there's really nothing that I don't like about it. Like I've turned it into kind of exactly what I was after. So
Fair.
Yeah.
And then he has another one for me. He says, Travis, what new thing would excite you the most to see in the world of Scale RC? Something that doesn't currently exist but would really pique your interest. Yeah, that's a tough one.
What if someone made a chassis for the SCX Pro?
That's fine.
And here we are
Wait.
trying to move on. And Jay throws the backup beeper on.
You raise an interesting point, which is not like piling onto that because this isn't exclusive to them, but I think making a chassis for that at all is kind of funny, just in principle a little bit. But
Oh boy.
it's just, yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's not like actual criticism or anything. It's just, I think it's just funny given what it's supposed to be. But there's always that thing that needs to change. That's always like really consistent. There's always like, we gotta fix this little thing. We'll offer something new for it. But yeah, I don't know. I think as far as like just something totally new, it's hard to say because I think my maybe biggest gripe for a while, I don't know if I said it as much on here, but it was just sort of like the lack of like sort of matching scale between a lot of stuff, but then also too, you didn't see a lot of like 10 scale build pairings for like other items. Like we're kind of seeing that with the rally car now, like what he was talking about, and like the Apexes and Generals, and then the TT2 has kind of been sort of a staple for that, but like you don't really see a lot of mix in that in the community, and I always thought that was something I would like to see. But yeah, I don't know. I've looked at this question a couple times tonight trying to think of an answer for this, and I really don't know if I have one. I think, I think I would like to see, and I don't really know how to elaborate on this, so I can't, but I think I would like to see just maybe sort of an overhaul in like the standard of like transmissions. I think that there's like more that kind of can be done in terms of placement and stuff like that. And yeah, it's hard to explain, I think, without taking up an hour, but I think that's one thing that I would really like to see.
To expand on that just a tiny bit, that 25% overdrive in the Stealth XF trans was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, super, super good.
Trying to think if I can. Okay, yeah. Something like, I think I talked about this at some point, but the transmission, when we were talking about the VS410 Pro, I remember that was kind of an infatuation I had with that release was it's like just how killer the transmission layout was.
Yeah, that one's awesome.
Yeah.
The one on the SCX is pretty cool too.
It is.
Yeah, there's a couple people I know that said it was a straight ripoff of the VS10.
You sure? Because it looked like the spur gear was like divorced from the rest of it and mounted up front with the motor, and
That's what I thought, but there's a lot of people that are like, oh yeah, it's pretty much the same design. They just moved a couple things so they wouldn't get in trouble.
But they moved.
I don't know if I buy that.
They moved most of the transmission.
I don't know. And then there's also the same can say that they ripped off SSD with the axle setup. But I don't know.
Huh.
I just like seeing another option for a forward mount motor like that, you know, that you can actually put in a car that, like, I could see that transmission going into anything. I mean, you could even, if Element actually adopted a style like that and put it in their cars. You can actually change the game with interiors, changing, the body heights, all that stuff, because you get that much more room, but it's still a capable setup.
Yeah, the tuning game's just changed. Yeah, no, I completely agree. Like that's what I would love to see so much more of. It just kind of, in my opinion, it just kind of gets you like closer to the, to what the inspiration is, which is, 1-to-1 stuff. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll have an answer for this in a future episode. I'll think about this more.
I do like all these new transmissions that everybody's doing, just for the fact of like it making interiors easily had now.
It's cool that that's like it sounds dumb as I explain it, but it's cool that that's like a appreciated and embraced part of the community. Like, oh no, we need to make it friendly for this.
Well, it's because some of these bodies that are coming out, like I don't think this one was announced last time we recorded, but the new killer body, they just came out with a 4-door Gladiator, and it looks freaking incredible. So, I mean, that's like another awesome body you don't have to necessarily chop up a bunch now to have fit.
For sure.
They did a really good job on it. It looks fantastic. Like full interior, doors that open, the works. It's awesome. It's probably really expensive too.
Then I'll go check Facebook in a second, but I think our last question is from Scooter Scott. He says, let's talk shocks. Go to shock, RTR aftermarket. Yeah, go to shock for RTR aftermarket Mini T style mod shocks. But I guess Mini T mod shocks are now becoming RTR via like the Element SC shocks. Yeah, SCX10 Pro. He says, me personally, I have been enjoying the Mini T style shocks. I have a set of normal metal body element shocks with the SE parts to mini spring them. Also, I have Traxxas big bores with Mini T, basically DraftX, and I have the parts coming to my Mini T for my TRX4 stock shocks. But yeah, basically, go-to shocks. Still kind of on the... I haven't played too much with the ones for the SE yet, but I mean, I'm still very much OEM Element.
Yeah, no, same here. Ideally, like I like the factory team shocks the most. But I don't know. It's funny that you mentioned that, because actually I just found diaphragms that are going to fit, and they're here. So now I have to build a set of shocks with the diaphragm in them. But yeah, just any of the Element ones are great.
Yeah,
I'm going to try the springs at some point, but I just haven't had a chance yet. The SC style springs.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how these new SCX10 Pro shocks work. I've seen a lot of good things and heard a lot of good things about them. I think I've only heard one person, or I've seen only one complaint about them, but I think they assembled them wrong. But so far, I'm kind of curious about those. Prior to that, I've always just run what's come on the rig. I know some people are like, oh, they leak, don't run them. But I guess my go-to for a while actually used to be the Traxxas big boards. I used to be on this kick of doing the, all the mods to them. You do drill the hole in the center of the cap, put a rod end on it, a short rod end, so that way you have the pivot ball at the top instead of just like that bushing mount. And then I would do an internal spring, so that way it would suck the rig down. I mean, that used to be like my go-to forever. I've never done the Mini T style setup. That's why I'm very interested in the new shocks with the Pro kit. And then I guess the new up and coming. So I remember everybody was on the Desert Lizard right? Desert Lizard
Yeah.
rocks. So that used to be the kick because they were cheap and they worked for what they were. Now the new thing is, but I don't think they're cheap, is the DravTech. I want to say a lot of people seem to keep bringing up DravTech. So, yeah.
Yeah, I would think that the ones that come with the Axial Pro Kit are probably going to be pretty good.
Yeah. They have bleeder caps on them, probably.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah. Let me see. Facebook.
Yeah, I know Scooter's gonna be asking that question because he's in the middle of messing with his shocks.
No, that is it for questions.
Oh, I can't find the Jeep on their website. Huh, interesting. Like Killer Body has a lot of cool stuff. They've got like different kinds of expanded metal for making screens and grills and stuff. Got a lot of neat stuff. Kind of surprised. Door handle kits, different injection molded door handles, like a variety pack. That's pretty cool, man.
Actually, I think I might have seen that.
That's a good product, actually. But again, this is one of the situations where it's like nobody knows about it, though. Like, you need to get these things in some people's hands so that they know they're out there.
Yeah.
Because that is a pretty fantastic product idea. Boy, their website's hard to navigate. There's
Oh, it is slow.
Yeah.
Oh, brutal. Yeah, is there anything else we needed to go over? I think we caught everything.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Probably have more to talk about next time because I'm going to, well, depending on how the weather is, one of the next 2 days, I'm going to be going out again with the Bushido and the EPX truck.
Awesome.
Let's see. If I don't look now, I'm going to forget. Yeah, it's not looking good.
Not really.
Yeah. Maybe I'll be working on the 6x6 instead.
All right.
Anyhow.
Well, cool. I guess we can wrap up then.
Yeah, and don't forget, I didn't say anything that I wasn't supposed to. It was all Travis and Adam.
That's true. I only have to edit myself this time.
Yeah. I was well behaved.
Would you like a gold star?
Oh, there it is. $198. Oh my God. Ouch.
Oof.
That's expensive.
Yeah. Right.
It's sick though, but it's expensive.
Yeah, it's a sick price too.
Dude, look at, like, zoom in though and look at the hood vents really quick. I know we were trying to get going here, but
I would, but my God, is that website slow?
Really?
I couldn't wait anymore. Sorry, Killer Body.
From what I see, I think it's worth it. From what I'm seeing.
You think it's worth the price?
It's a lot of money to work. Yeah. Just if you get a chance later on, look at the detail on the hood vents. There's a black hood vent on either side. It looks really freaking good.
Post a link on the podcast page.
Yeah, I will. And like the bed's textured to look like bed liner. Like there's even the tie down spots in the bed for bungee cords. Jesus it's sick, Christ. Dude. Like they actually did a really good job. So anyhow.
Well, all right. Well, thank you guys for listening once again.
Yes, thank you.
This episode should have no weird gimmicks and should be uploaded very quickly. So I'm excited about that as well. So
That's good.
all right. Thanks, guys. See ya.
See ya.